Oh my goodness. I can't believe I've just wasted those 2 minutes muted. Oh, we got to do this over again. Oh, that's crazy. Actually, wait, was it recorded? You know what? No. I'm gonna do this properly. Listen. Everything we're gonna do. This is like a rehearsal. First things first. My people come first. My people, those that are here, those that are no longer here, always thought of and remembered. I have to do that first and foremost. That needs to be heard and said. Thank you. This is why it's important to look at the chat. DC, I shouted you at the beginning. My girl DC in the building. Thank you so much for being first to show that love, show that comment, shouting out the blues. You know what it is. Big Morgan, thank you so much. Belly, you know what it is as well. Yes, this is key. We need to get this win. Now, backstage, my people backstage are going to be introduced. I'm not even going to tell you who it is. I'm just going to show you the intro. That's the sophistication that we're trying to do on this show. Let me just show you the first. Let me show you the first person that I'm going to show you. And you know what? My man is back this week. Let me do that one more time. G Certified is in the building. I'm not going to do one intro at a time, but I'm going to show you the agents, and then I'm going to bring them all forward. He's made his appearance before. We weren't able to see him last week, but he's back again. And you know, between G Certified, what he's been doing in the Twitter spaces, he rattles everybody. And then we got this man. This man, and this is why the CIA is brilliant. The CIA is brilliant because we got agents everywhere. We got agents in Twitter X. We got agents over in TikTok. We got agents over on YouTube. We got agents everywhere. This agent in particular, he does his thing. He's getting blocked by everybody, it seems. Every rival seems to be blocking this. CIA agent Ryan is doing his thing and making a debut. And I love the commentary that I see on Twitter X. He's always in the comments, also on some of the videos. He's dropping some knowledge. He's dropping some facts on the rival. CIA agent Kim for short. CIA agent Kimba is in the mix, going to make a debut. Let me bring all three agents to the front of the stage right now, starting with G Certified, starting with Ryan, and starting with Kimba in the building. Good looking out, everyone. Hope you are well. Thanks for being on the show.
Man, it's
everyone
good.
Man.
We're good, man.
Everybody blessed. Good.
Yep. Yeah. Looking good. I'm thinking I'm gonna make sure I might have to shut some things down because I was a little grainy to start with, but good to see each and every one of you. Now, like I said, every show, I'm very appreciative of your time. I will not be wasting any time. We got a fantastic hour in front of us. And if you didn't notice from the thumbnail that I put out, which was on Twitter X, to remind everybody what we were going to discuss. Listen, City players rattling the Arsenal players, Holland in particular, and even before Holland was doing it, we know KDB, his cool, cold-blooded strut that he did a couple seasons ago. We know that Rodri ripping the shirt off, waving it in front of the rivals when he had that late winner. We've been rattling Arsenal fans for a minute now. It's nothing new. And they're not even rivals. Yes, they want the same title, but they ain't rivals. We know this. This rattling is nothing new. I want to speak on that before we speak on anything else, because we've talked ad nauseum about Arsenal's approach with the game. We've talked about whether they show any guts for the glory that they want. But I want to talk about the aftermath. The aftermath of this game. G Certified.
Yes, for
you. Twitter X Spaces. What's the feeling? Are you getting the feeling like City have been rattled? Arsenal been rattled? What's the status of Arsenal fans right now? What are you feeling?
No, Arsenal fans, they're rattled, but they've always been rattled. Arsenal fans are always rattled over anything. You know what I'm saying? They were rattled when they lost the league and bought the league to Leicester City. They're rattled again. You know, at this rate, somebody needs to get them, sing them a bedtime story. You know, maybe that will make them sleep better at night. You know what I'm saying? Because I don't think a Premier League title will be good enough for them. You know what I'm saying? I was crying, but at the end of the day, I'm not surprised. You know, when you see their videos every single time, you know, they was like, oh, when's it going to end, Robbie? When's it going to end? But they're the ones that always start. They're the ones that always put the fire in the fuel. They're the ones that always try and they act like, oh, yeah, we're the most hated. Everybody cares about Arsenal. Nobody cares about Arsenal. It's just you guys come up with the most outlandish things and most emotional. So, you know, Arsenal fans, that keep doing it. It gives us great content. I can't lie. So, Arsenal fans, keep going.
Go ahead.
Now I'm going to say that I done some couple videos, and you just look at the comments, and he says it. He says it, and you know what the thing is, like the worst thing is, like when Odegaard got injured, I didn't even disrespect Odegaard's injury. I just talked about
me neither.
Yeah.
Me
Exactly.
neither.
And people say, oh,
impact of it.
even City fans were saying, oh, it's not really good to people. Have you seen the comments on Rodri on my videos? Every one of them are disrespecting Rodri. Even private messaging. They even DMing me talking about
directly.
Yeah.
Yo, listen, I saw a comment.
That's uncool.
Go ahead,
man,
Kim.
This is the thing, man. So this is what they do.
I mean, it is. I feel like they are trying to make it feel like we are supposed to be rattled when we keep telling them, look, we're not rattled. Yes, you played, you won, move on. You know, no biggie. Yes, you should have won. Yes, we celebrated an equal score. Everybody will in the last minute. That's just how it is. And we move on. But it's like they're pushing it. They want this thing.
They need it.
They try and act like we're celebrating like the draw, like they did. They come to the end last season and they played for the draw and they celebrated.
They played for the draw. That's different.
Equalizer. We're celebrating all this pressure of trying to break them down, and we broke them down. That's what we were celebrating. We wasn't happy with the draw, man. Come on, we're sitting, man. We try and win every single game we can. Like, no hands down, man. No, we don't park the bus. We go out there, we attack no matter who we're playing. If it's a Liverpool, we're back and forth. If it's an Arsenal, we're just trying to break them down, and they're going to try and counter us, isn't it? That's just the way it is.
You know what annoyed me even more, Ryan? Yeah? What annoyed me even more is when I'm looking at it, and I'm looking at Gabriel's comments after the match. We'll see you at the Emirates. What's that meant to be? We've been to the Burnabout, we've been to the Allianz, we've been to Anfield, and then we come to the Emirates.
I don't know. The Emirates has never even won a Champions League.
The Emirates. I'm more worried about going, yeah? I'm being honest. I'm more worried about going to the Tottenham Stadium for the Carabao Cup than the Emirates.
And you know what the joke is, yeah? They talk about the Emirates, and even at the Emirates, they've done exactly the same thing. They played on the counter-attack at home. They just got a goal there last year, and they won it. But
they got a reflection goal.
It's just the same stuff. The counter-attack, part of the bus, counter-attack. And yet these are acting like these are playing some all-out great football. It's horrendous.
I think.
No, but at the same time, it's just at the same time, I get the impression that they think that they are deserved to get everybody to get the full respect, like they have won something. Yes, they won something 20, 25, 30 years ago. Now you got to redo it before you can demand the respect. Shit, I remember back in 17-18 when we were flying high in the Premier League, doing great, and everybody was like, yeah, but they have to get, we have to get the Premier League first. Then we can start talking. Get the Premier League. We were going to win it, but we didn't get the full Premier League respect before we won it in 17-18. I remember that.
Exactly. And the thing that I find really funny, because obviously we interact, whether we're interacting directly on Twitter X, whether we're doing it on YouTube, whether we're doing it on TikTok, we take what's on our mind and we put it out there. Boom. Receipts are there if you want to find what we have to say.
It was 2012, the first Premier League, before we have
I just remember it was the Pep thing. I think they're referring to the Pep.
Not even real fans. They're not even real. They don't know.
Oh, yeah.
We'll just say it's AI. It's AI, man.
We deal with that all the time. With regards to what happened in the Pep era, you're 100% right. Now, the thing that's funny is we've got a title chase that we're going after. And when we talk about what we're accustomed to doing in regards to going after this title, Arsenal think we're trying to big brother them. Arsenal think that we're trying to talk down to them. And when we bring up the reference on how we had to fight for it versus Liverpool, it's not a City Pool love fest or Liver City or whatever they're trying to do. It's just pointing out, listen, we both wanted the title and we went to go grab it. Not one of us went to just wait and hold on for it, which Arsenal keep tending to do. And what I was saying earlier with regards to all of us putting our points out there, whether it's Twitter X Spaces, YouTube, TikTok, we put it out there even before we hear anything from these pundits. So what I'm finding funny, and Arsenal fans want to say that I'm triggered. They want to say that I'm emotional. Every time I retweet what those that are away from the game, those that aren't involved as City fans are saying the exact same things that we're saying. Listen, you got to fight. You got to go and get this thing. They think, oh, now you're siding with these pundits. Oh, now you agree. These pundits watch the game. Roy Keane himself on whatever new show they keep doing, they keep coming out with these new podcasts. But him to a face of Ian Wright said, listen, you parked the bus. Listen, you didn't go for the win. So we're not saying anything different. We know what it means to go for the win. And last season, you tried to hold those 2 points in the league. And this season, again, I'm not criticizing you. Coming to the Etihad, guys, we all seen this. We've seen Real Madrid, big bad Real Madrid. 14 UCLs come to our house and say, you know what? We're playing for pens. And they had 11 men. They had 11 men. Of course, Citeh was going to park the bus with 10 men. We expected that, but the way they played, that's what we're criticizing. Because you invited us. You invited us for 45 minutes. The best manager that's on the planet right now. The best attackers that are on this planet right now. You invited them for 45 minutes to break you down. That's what we're criticizing. There's another way to do it.
The same way.
G. So G, do you think it was a celebrating, and I love what Holland did, but do you think it was celebrating that, yes, we got the draw? Or do you think it was celebrating we got this late winner against this disgusting defense that we had to put up with? And the stalling, wasting time, the dark arts, as they want to call it, for 45 minutes. Do you think it was more of that celebration, or was it actually celebrating the draw?
Nah, for me, it was definitely the time wasting. I think everybody even all the fans, I think we were all celebrating because it was the time wasting. It was ridiculous. You know, Ray going down how many times with an injury? How can a goalkeeper get injured and go down that many times? There needs to be a rule, because goalkeepers are protected way too many times. Where I think that, listen, if you're actually injured, you go down twice, you bring on the sub keeper. Yeah, they need to find something. I don't know what they'll do, but they need to find something, because keepers, they know if they go down, they can't come off. Yeah. So for me, I'm tired of what Arsenal do, but I'm not surprised. You know, Arteta is a very I'll give him credit. He's got that side to him. He's not like, even though he might look like a manager that's all happy and nice and all that, he has got that side to him where he can do that Mourinho side to him. But he's got that arrogance, but not arrogance in a bad way necessarily. But he's got that.
No, you need that. We get it. You need that, because you can't be that guy and not think that you're good enough, because you won't be able to get what you're after for. Before we continue on, I have to say, because I do this every show, my gal Rose in the building, she dropped a comment. I saw it earlier, Rose. I was waiting for the conversation. My gal, thank you so very much. She goes, hey Vader, today is a good day. I'm grateful for today's victory and the ones to come. Absolutely. And love to everybody in the chat. Report's been tremendous. Kim, what you got to say, my man?
No, the win today, the against the APT was amazing. It was a big victory for us. It was a huge victory for us.
Tremendous, and we're going to get into it. We will get into it. We will get into it. I just want to kind of go with the flow with regards to the Arsenal game. We put that aside. Celebrating, quote unquote, the draw or the late goal. We spoke on that. Now we had to play, and we lost Rodri. This is another reason why I think we celebrated that late goal, because we had to do that without Rodri, and that means a lot. As a player, whatever game you've played, when you've had a player go out injured, you want to at least not suffer a loss with them gone. You do that for your player. You do that for your teammate. Now, we saw what we, quote unquote, look like without Rodri just the other day in the Carabao. What do you guys think? I'm going to start with you, Ryan. What do you think Pep's approach might be in terms of managing? And I know we don't know officially how long Rodri's out, but if he happens to be out for a substantial amount of time, what do you think Pep's approach might be to try to manage without him?
I think we've seen it. We haven't had him for the first few games of the season, have we? So I think it's going to be. It's got to be a double pivot, obviously, because no one can. Any player we've got can't just stand into Rodri's position, because he's the best defensive midfielder in world football. So you're never going to replace him. But I think we can cover. And there is rumours and there's been reports that we could be going for someone in January. So maybe it's just like a double pivot until that happens. I mean, when it comes to I'm gonna say the lower teams, but when it comes to it, we
No,
should
no,
have
okay. No disrespect. Yeah.
we should have enough to get through there anyway. Like we have done. Kovacic has had a good season up to now. He started off well, you know.
Yeah.
He can double pivot with Gundogan, maybe Bernardo.
Yeah.
Even Nunes come out the other day and said he was a double pivot. He's played that position before, so maybe he's trying to stake a claim on that position right now. So I think and to add to that, we've got the best manager in the world when it comes to solving problems.
Yeah, we do.
So if you trust in anyone, it's him. It's with him to make a right decision on how we go forward. Maybe just 100%. Until January, maybe till the summer. We'll see.
You know what I do? I'm not sure what you guys do as well, but if we're going for someone in January, there's no point. For me, there's no point going for somebody that's gonna be, like the first choice, like Bruno Guimaraes, like those kind of big names, because he won't play when Rodri's back. So what I was thinking, bring someone like Kante. I'd bring Kante for a couple of months later. No, listen, I'd be looking at a player with experience that just can fill in short term for that period of time, and that can take us to the end of the season. Like with Chelsea, with Thiago Silva, when they had him for a year, but then he did well, so they kept on extending.
Yeah,
that's what I'd be looking at doing. Just if Fernandinho was still playing at the level, I'd have said Fernandinho. But you know what I'm saying?
I hear it. Go ahead.
I think it would be good to bring in to possibly bring in someone as we did with Rodri and Robinho, because of how not Robinho, but now I forget the name. But anyway, because Rodri was under him, he didn't really start playing and showing his best until after Robinho left. And that's when he came on and started showing. We should bring somebody who could have just came under Rodri, so that when Rodri leaves, it's taking off.
Rodri was the apprentice to Fernandinho, and he was able to
Fernandinho. There we go.
Learn what not to do, and he kind of came along the way. Now, I saw another agent backstage. I'll wait till he comes on camera to bring him forward. It looks like my internet's also kind of cleaned up, so that's all good. Now, no Rodri, Pep, MacGyver, tinkering, mad scientist. You'll figure out what to do. We're confident in that. The quote unquote smaller games, no disrespect, obviously, but there's games that are going to be like of high importance. Quality across the pitch is going to be high. That's where it's going to be like to a man and woman City fan. We're going to be like, okay, Pep. Well, not only what are you going to do in the midfield, but what's your decision in terms of what are you going to do with defenders? What might your decision be with wing play? And the agent is now off screen. I'm going to add him to the mix. And before I do so, those of you in the chat, those of you tuned in, hit the like button if you haven't already. I'm blessed right now for the panel members. I've got an amazing panel member. I got these agents that all do their thing, and please, their channels, their ats are in the description. Please go and show support. And if you ever hit them up in the comments, please say, I'm here from Vader Games TV, or I'm here from CIA. Let them know where the love's coming from. But I'm going to bring this agent. This agent's been on assignment. He wasn't able to be a part of the show last week. He was on assignment a couple weeks back, but still tuned in. Let me give you the proper intro. All right, if you turned away from the screen and you didn't catch it, you got to see it again. This agent, many of you have seen him on other platforms as well. Let me remind you. The professor's in the building. What it do, Professor? How you doing?
How you guys doing? I'm doing very well. How you guys doing?
Hey, we're good, man. We're good.
How's the holiday?
Oh, very good. I enjoyed it. I loved it. I was in Kenya there. Absolutely, I loved it for 2 weeks.
Nice,
after
man. No, it's amazing. I'm glad you're able to join the show. I know you're in transit. You're on the move. We earlier talked about the City players rattling Arsenal. We talked about whether we celebrated the draw, whether we celebrated the late winner. We now also talked about life without Rodri. And I want to ask you, if the confidence in terms of winning the league was at 10 when Rodri was here, where is that feeling without Rodri right now? If you were at 10 before Rodri, where are you kind of at without Rodri right now?
Is that to me, yeah?
Yeah, that's you, Professor.
I have to say that I put trust on Pep still. So you still have to trust the team until, we're Man City, we're Manchester City, we've won it so many times. Obviously, it's a big blow to have lost the key player, Rodri. And the reason is because we don't have a similar player that could have come in to take over that role. Although Kovacic can, although Gundogan can, the key thing is I think Man City is still different animals. I've seen KDB missing many months and they still won title. They had KDB that year that Bernardo Silva was remarkable. And we won a title on that season. That how many seasons we had Aguero injured and they still won the title. Manchester City with Pep Guardiola or Man City in general, just they know they've got the experience how to win. And losing Rodri, I think, gives Pep a lot of motivation. Like I saw, I don't know whether you guys saw Pep. Like I saw Pep against Arsenal, and he saw the dirty taxes that they were doing, and I saw Pep angry, upset, and he's thinking, okay, if you're gonna try this on, I'm not gonna leave this sit, and I think Pep Guardiola will likely to extend 100%. I believe that. I believe that. I can see that. I can see the hunger, and this year he's more motivated. This is a challenge for him. I think, although Rodri is a big blow, is a should be a Ballon d'Or winner.
Yeah, he should be.
We should
100%.
we should expect, like, we are Man City. We don't throw towels at other clubs and say, oh, we're very weak, or we go out there, we say we're Man City. We've won it 4 in a row. We're the only club that's done it back to back to back to back, and being under pressure, we still won it. And
Professor,
I think we go there, we're confident.
Professor, I got to interrupt you real quick because this comment. 1 second. This comment saying, was the journey to Kenya for marital reasons?
No, that was a holiday, man.
Congrats if you get married.
All right, because you're gonna disappoint a lot of the ladies out there. If the ladies know you're no longer on the market, you're disappointing a lot of ladies. I just want to let you know.
Yeah.
All right, sorry, Kim. What were you saying?
No, I was just, I don't remember everybody saw or got the memo on in regards to the Ballon d'Or, but it came out, it was a couple of days ago, they said that Vinny was the shoe-in or was going to win it, but the fact is that there's no truth to it. There is no, that's just a big wish, according to the experts and ESPN earlier today or this morning, I heard. So Rodri is still in, or I think everybody is expecting to be Rodri, most likely.
100%. Yeah, it's kind of messed up the way things leak. 100%. 100% deserves it. It's wild, man. I don't like how some of these how the news tighten to leak out, and I think it leaks out because it's engagement, it's interactions, everyone's in the comments, but if it's at all fair, and again, I've asked people that don't have a stake with regards to Manchester City, who they think had the better overall season, and man to man, woman to woman, many say it's Rodri, and we'll have to wait. This is the thing that I hate. Now I got another agent. I'm actually blessed. This is going to be the largest panel we've ever had on CIA, and what I love is, like, week after week, it kind of builds. Right, we're able to expand on this, and I'm so appreciative. You guys are being generous with your time. As we move on to the next topic, and I'm going to introduce this next agent. We're going to talk about the APT. We're going to talk about the APT because this associated party transaction that we sued the league about a couple weeks back all went kind of hush, all went kind of quiet. And I often thought, you know what? Lord Panic and what he's going to do in the background is like, sometimes there's the sue and the counter sue. Like, oh, you're going to get me on this one, but I'm going to get you on this one. And then it kind of washes out. The fact that we might get some gains in terms of the ruling and some damages that we're claiming on the APT, maybe it offsets some of the things that we may have to do with regards to not cooperating with regards to the 115. But let me bring this new agent making a debut. He's been on the show before, but he's making a new agent with our relaunch with CIA. And you would know him from the Twitter X Spaces. Let me do it properly and put this agent intro on screen, and you guys can see who it is. Yeah, that might have been a little too quick. Maybe you guys don't know who this is. You're gonna catch him when you hear the voice. He does some of the most diabolical, some of the most treachery type Twitter X Spaces going against these rivals. Let me put him up on the screen again. My only hope is that his microphone is nice and clean. Welcome to the stage, Adam. How you doing, man?
I'm doing well on this lovely, beautiful day.
Bless. Microphone is clean. I see that you got. What do you got there? Is that what's your Abby
You,
say? Let me
you
try
know
to
me,
invite
mate. I like to troll. I'm an absolute troll.
Let me. How do I do this?
Mm.
Wow.
Premier League.
Wow. Yo, you're rude. You're rude. You're rude.
Good one.
Now, the APT.
Good one, Adam.
The APT. I don't know who wants to tackle this one first. The APT, again, they've come out. A lot of credible sources. A lot of credible sources have said that Manchester City have gotten an early victory as it comes to APT, associated party transactions. Now, I, for one, went back a couple weeks back and looked at what it all entailed, right? We're telling them, listen, your ruling in terms of what you consider associated party transactions, that needs to be rejigged. It's unfair based off of certain regions, because based off of certain regions, yes, maybe there's a hierarchy or there's a connection. We think that's wrong. We also think on how you're judging the valuation of some of these associated party transactions, you're way off, because like how you telling us that what they're willing to pay for sponsorship or involvement is too high. So we're challenging that as well. And I also think that when it comes down to it, we're doing Robin Hood's work. We're doing this not selfishly for us. We're doing this because we also recognize on how it reflects the rest of the league. And obviously, the rivals are scared that it's going to mean that Newcastle are going to have advantages that, quote unquote, they don't have. But I want to ask, and whoever wants to chime in first, what was your feeling when you saw the leaked victory with regards to the APT?
Man, I was.
I can start. Go ahead. Sorry. Go
ahead, G. Go ahead, G.
That's all right, Kim. For me, I was just saying I was excited. Listen, I don't even think I can't put it into words. You know what I'm saying? Because for me, I know this isn't the 115 charges. I know it isn't, but this is big. It's still big, yeah. Because look at the stuff that's been happening with Everton, with Nottingham Forest. Look at those things that have been happening. For the Premier League, for this to happen, it doesn't look good on the Premier League at all. And for it to be to do with discriminatory and all of that stuff, listen, and everything to do with that, who knows? I'm not saying that they're going to argue this. I'm not saying that, but you never know. Our owners may say, listen, when it's an American owner, when it's the Glazers, when it's Henry, when it's Kroenke, when
the
it's
cartel.
When it's even Roman Abramovich. Yeah, was it Roman Abramovich only left because of political reasons? It was never to do with the Premier League. The Premier League never forced this guy out. Yeah, so let's be honest. They're going to say keep the same energy. Why? Is it because we're Arab state owned? Is it because we're Saudi state owned? You know, they've got to ask those questions. So for me, the Premier League, it's a big loss for the Premier League if that's true. But obviously, I don't think it has anything to do with the 115 charges. But what I do think is that if we do beat like the main charges in the 115 charges, I do think we'll look back on this as a big win, because they're going to have to change the rules. There will be rule changes. But I just
yeah. I mean, Ryan, when you have some of these battles in terms of the hypocrites that want to talk about Manchester City and inflated sponsorships and things of that nature, do you see this? And obviously more rulings need to come out, but do you see this as a listen? We told you so. We told you that we've been managing and we've been operating legitimately. You guys have just been slanted in your views of it.
Well, the rule, the APT rule that they're fighting against right now is an adaptation of what the rules was. They brought out new parts in, I think it was February this year or something like that. That's what the challenge is actually against, isn't it? It's nothing to do with the 115 or any of the rules what was made back then either.
You're right.
What I mean? But yeah, it's just like
You're right.
If they do get a win out of it, they get the win. It really it doesn't affect City in any way. It's better for Newcastle and those sort of teams, because City's already where they are. So it's like it doesn't. They're literally battling it out just for the right of it being right.
And I'm gonna bring another agent. This is absolutely amazing. This is record setting. I'm gonna make sure. Listen, for full transparency, it was my birthday yesterday, so I think this is my late birthday gift.
Happy birthday!
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. To have all of you on the show right now. I got another agent. This man doesn't cower from the trenches. This man doesn't care what these rivals say. He's quick to say you don't know what you're talking about and dropping the facts. Now, he doesn't venture so much in the Twitter X spaces as much anymore because he's like saving his points of view to share over on YouTube. But I want to welcome him, and let me do the proper intro so all of you see what's going on. Yeah, you might have missed that. He's got a fantastic show on YouTube, Pitch Points. You definitely want to check that out, especially when Champions League comes around. But let me show the agent one more time. Welcome to the stage, my man. Gundolorian, how you doing?
Thank you so much. I apologize I couldn't join you earlier. I'm busy at work, but I don't spend too much time on Spaces. I'm just busy with coaching and learning and doing my badges and all this stuff, and so it's just keeping me busy. But I have some strong points of view on this whole palaver.
And before you do, let me big you up because being modest, him getting his badges, him doing his coaching, it's, again, everyone, however you do it, much respect to you. But this man is within Manchester City. Manchester City have a program, Gundolorian, his coaching badges, what he's involved with the youth, getting these kids in terms of preparing, he's doing that within the Manchester City program. And they have a very strong program in North America. And that's where he's based doing his thing. So when he's talking from a point of view of knowledge. So let me hear what you got to say, Gundolorian, and break down with regards to APT if you can.
Listen, I always talk about follow the crumbs, right? Always follow the crumbs. When you start to see the Premier League approved Chelsea's sale of the hotel to a related party, they're cooked. You know they're cooked. Right? 100%. You know they're cooked. Ain't no way the Premier League is going to approve Chelsea's sale of a hotel to itself and APT is going to be rejected. No, it ain't happening. That's a lawsuit waiting to happen. So, listen, mate, this whole nonsense. I think it was Sam Allardyce that said today that all these rivals talking about bringing charges against the club, it's all jealousy. It is pure jealousy.
Yeah.
100%. And laced with a little bit of racism. Just a little tiny bit of racism.
Just be clear. Just a little bit.
Just a little bit. Because I guarantee you, if a club is making losses like United are making losses, or a club is spending billions without making progress, and the owner was from North America or Europe, let's let it fly. It's okay. But from the Middle East, oh, God forbid. Oh, no, we can't have that happen. From the Middle East, human rights? Oh, no, there are no human rights issues in the UK or in America, right? No. It's only the Middle East where there's human rights issues. That's the only place we have human rights issues.
It's like what do you call it? It's like even the World Cup. Yeah, it's like all the talk about World Cup in Qatar. Everybody was saying this and that and this. World Cup in America, nobody's saying anything. So for me, all I'm saying is that listen, we all know that there is that little bit of, I call it xenophobia. Yeah, xenophobia. That I think there is a little bit of that towards Middle Eastern owners, towards owners that maybe because they break the tradition. I know how big the Premier League likes to be on tradition. And
you know what it is, Jesus Christ. You know what it's just showed me. Sorry to cut you off. You know, it's just shown me. It's just shown me how there's too much double standards and hypocrisy from rival fans.
Well, happy birthday to you, Beta. Listen,
Yo, bless.
As Beta mentioned, I do coaching stuff, right? And I'll give you an example, Beta, what I'm talking about. I'll give you an example. So I'm privileged to coach. City's trying to do something in the US, trying to build this whole City Academy thing with like U8, U10, U12s. So I'm involved in that stuff. I'm doing my license with New York NYCFC. I was up in New York a couple of weeks ago. It's incredible. And so we had a game on this weekend, right, on Sunday. All right, this guy, we're up 4-0 halftime. Right?
Yeah.
The opposing coach, goes to the referee and says, this guy here is using kids that are, super elite level, not like, young academy kids trying to grow through. They're using like semi-professional.
You're using ringers. Yeah.
Right? Referee comes to me and says, hey, buddy, this guy says you're using these guys. I'm like, guy, listen. Why is he saying that? Well, let me see. Oh, I'm a person of color coaching kids and beating 4-0 at halftime. If I wasn't, would he ask that question? Has he asked somebody else? So this issue is prevalent in the game. Let's be clear, at all levels. Am I saying
Yeah,
everybody's bad? No, that's not what I'm saying. I'm saying
Mhm.
it is there.
Yeah.
City are owned by a person from a particular area of the world who's investing equity. Let me be clear to everybody else. It's equity, which is I'm putting my money at risk. I'm not going to the bank to borrow money. I'm
Yes.
using my own money as equity to fund the development of the game in England, in a club.
Yeah.
I'm not going to Morgan Stanley to borrow £600 million in debt. I'm using equity, which means if they go down or they lose money, I lose money as well.
Mm-hmm.
And this is what they're fighting against. And
Now-
they like clubs like United who borrow $600 million in debt. They like Chelsea who go to private equity to raise money.
I want to build off that.
Here?
Let me build off that as well. Let me build off that as well, because what I find very interesting, because obviously rivals, they have a selfish lens to it. They have a lens where they're only looking at it from a competitive standpoint. They think that these wins, this potential win with regards to sponsorship, is going to result in an unfair balance in terms of players on the club, on the pitch. I also want to point out, and it's funny on how it's getting so much more promoted on the Manchester United side of things with their whole new stadium, but these sponsorships that have been disallowed and quote unquote the club is saying resulted in some damages because they don't have the funds, it trickles down. It's the football pyramid. They want to improve the facilities. They want to improve the academies. They want to improve the women's game. Like, that's all the things that they're affecting. So I'm so optimistic, and I'm encouraged by the news. I hope that it does result in these rules getting obviously amended to the degree where quote unquote clubs like Manchester City, ownership like Manchester City, can have more involvement with the sport, with what they're able to spend because of the support that they're getting from the regions. We all know that that's how it works. If I'm trying to do something on my own, I'm trying to get my hustle on, I'm talking to my friends and family. Can you help support me? That's not uncommon. The same thing happens whether it's US, you're on the golf course and you're talking to your buddies and you're like able to get some investment. That's normal. The fact that it's happening over with our ownership, and they want to talk about Newcastle's opportunity with their Saudi ownership, that is no different. So when Carl was talking about a hint,
I've been called into a meeting, so I have to go in a couple of minutes. But Ryan, Ryan, I love Ryan. I love Ryan so much.
Thank you.
Did everybody watch the Newcastle Amazon documentary?
Yeah,
where Amanda Staveley was talking about the fact that it's illegal the way the Premier League is stopping them from getting sponsorship from Saudi organizations or Saudi companies, right? My question to everyone is this: why is Chelsea allowed to sell their own hotel to an associated party and the Premier League approves that, and Newcastle aren't allowed to get money from companies in Saudi Arabia? Why? Somebody explain to me why. Why?
They have found their own. I truly do believe this. So, but if you got to give credit to Chelsea for something, or the new owners, they have been damn good at finding all these freaking small loopholes and take it and use it to their advantage. I believe that they found a loophole that somehow gets them to sell this hotel to themselves, but on paper it looks like they didn't really sell it to themselves. But that's but the bottom line is they sell it to themselves, and that's how it's coming out. But they can get away with it because of whatever the way the rule is written. But I heard the other day too that they will have problems with that in regards to that sale, or in regards to that in Europe and UEFA, because UEFA they're saying are not going to accept that. So we'll see if it might hurt them in UEFA next season.
Never doubt.
I hear it.
The thing is, all those rules are just perfect. It was brought out when Man City got bought by Mansour. Like, I think the Premier League adopted it
a couple of years after.
Well, the Premier League adopted it in 2013. UEFA was before that, wasn't it? 2014. UEFA was before that. And then the modification of them was when Newcastle got bought. This is what Man City are challenging. You know, they had a modification. They had a newer version of these rules once the Saudis bought Newcastle. So that just shows the agenda it is, and it's because of the people that bought the clubs and not anything to do with financial fair play. And at the end of the day, Man United was spending, every club spent for years. That's how in the aspect of that time period. Obviously, the inflation and all that, the prices are going to go up. But the relevance of price at that period Man United had a hell of a lot of transfer records over the years. A hell of a lot, more than any other
100%.
British club.
Oh, yeah.
You know, so
100%.
it's
But
like everybody spent. Real Madrid, Gareth Bale was a world record, I'm sure. Ronaldo,
Oh, yeah.
you know what I mean? Like they've had numerous records over the years. Like every club spends to get where he was.
But Ryan, right? Let me ask you again the question. It's when City spend, why is it a problem? Why is it a problem for City to spend if Madrid can spend?
Because
United can spend?
they're trying to make sure that a club like City doesn't get to that elite level again. No, Newcastle could outspend anyone. Newcastle could outspend Sheikh Mansour. Yep. Newcastle's got the richest owner ever in world football. The amount of money he's got behind, the amount of money and resources that guy has got is unbelievable. He could blow everyone out of the park, but he can't because of these rules, and that's exactly how they wanted it. The City is the last club they're going to let be a dormant club and go so huge. Like, they never wanted the City to be big.
That's true.
You know, the weird thing about, people don't know this, right? But check the facts, right? If you look at the sovereign wealth funds that are so-called backed by each of those states, like Newcastle and by City, you know that the Abu Dhabi one is actually more wealthier than the Saudi Arabia one. The number one sovereign wealth fund in the world is Norway. I think it's Abu Dhabi is 2 or 3, and then Saudi PIF is 5 or 6. So technically, Abu Dhabi is wealthier. The sovereign wealth fund, not the country.
Yeah. Got it. Yeah. The wealth fund. How it's considered. How it's now. I want to mention this, and then listen. You're free to drop your comments in the chat. I got no problem with you. Hey, this is a channel where we're all respectful. Now I'm gonna bring this one comment up because I think this is what is so standard amongst life in football, whether it's the world or the UK. Ade wants to say they spend but not falsify statements. Keep quiet, man. Now listen, until the proof is out there, you're like everybody else piping up about something you don't know. You're piping up about something that you're not sure of. Now you can have that opinion if you want. This is why we're having this case. This is why it's going to review, and we'll see what happens. But this is what we're accused of, and this is when it all comes down to it, whether the 115 is accurate or not. Now, be respectful in the comment. I don't want anything going back and forth between people. Let's talk football, and we can talk on topics. Now,
like, you know, sorry to cut you off.
Go ahead, Adam. Yeah, go ahead.
I can hear a lot of my information. I'll be honest, I don't know anything personally. A lot of the information that I get is tend to be from Carl, who explains it, has to explain it to me, or whether if I say pop on TikTok and then I see Ryan's video, or even if it's that typical City who explains it, or even Stefan. Honest truth, that's the people who
of course.
That's where I personally get my information, and they explain it to me.
Of course. That's nothing new,
personally.
Adam. That's nothing new. We are expected to get the information from what's out there because this isn't what our careers are in or what we're involved in. So we're relying on other sources. Now, the thing that I just want to point out is, with regards to guilt, let's wait until that plays out. Right? This extra hate for what hasn't been proven yet. You need to chill because again, how they talk about certain clubs and how they don't talk about other clubs, it's so apparent. But we'll keep this going. Go ahead, G.
But what? City will always be guilty, no matter what happens. No matter if we win this case.
That's always going to be hanging over us. But I think that in regards to the APT and us winning this, which I hope to believe is true, what rivals have to understand and remember is that now we have Newcastle, Aston Villa, Everton, and I believe Forest. Everybody is now coming onto our side because we won this, and now they're going to want us and believe that our 115 is good. They want it to disappear too. So we have them on our side too, which is a big thing compared to before.
Just to add to that comment from before, people who a hell of a lot of people just speak from one perspective of the leaked emails, because that's the only evidence. That's the only evidence there is out there is the leaked emails. People don't even take the time to go and read Cassie's ruling because for some reason they think Cassie's the judges that Cassie was wrong. They're like, these people are professionals, and it was their job to look over every bit of evidence from Man City's to UEFA's. Every little bit, every witness statement, every leaked email, every email, even the people don't talk about. City give the original emails to CAS. They didn't give it to UEFA. They didn't cooperate with UEFA. But they give it to CAS. Yeah, and they give account details to CAS. The account statement. They give that to CAS, which they didn't provide to UEFA. The reason City was sanctioned by CAS and found guilty on not cooperating because CAS ruled that if clubs in the future didn't cooperate with, like, say, UEFA's investigation stage, it makes a mockery of the whole thing. So they couldn't allow that. That's why they give City the guilty part on that. But as for everything else, in the CAS ruling, it says there's no evidence to suggest that
there was no evidence to suggest that.
Statement saw funded sponsors, none, and they wasn't prepared to call the Etihad witnesses who took the stand, and the other witnesses of the other company, I forgot the name of it, who took the stand. They wasn't willing to call them liars.
I think it was Etihad. I think.
But you have to witness. Go on.
All right.
Yeah. No, I was just going to say that the one thing, and I'm completely on everybody's on our side here, of course, but the funniest thing I find is that for some reason, whatever reason, our rivals choose to say, well, SAS was corrupt, or they had two City fans or two from the board who was all this kind of nonsense. It doesn't, I'm like, it doesn't change.
You can say, let me just, I mean, to Ryan's point, right, Beta, and Ryan raises this point clearly, right? When CAS says there's no evidence, let's be clear what that means. It's not about the emails you submit. It's not about hacked emails. It's about, you say they're falsified accounts. Show me the transactions that show that they're falsified accounts.
Exactly.
Did you say, okay, here are my books audited by the big audit firms. Here are the transactions. Here's how it works. Here are the journal entries. Here's everything. What else do you want to see? Show us evidence. What evidence? Now, question is if there's tax fraud, which means that Etihad Airways, Mancini have committed tax fraud, where's the subpoena to Etihad and to Etisalat? Legal subpoena from the HMRC to do that. There's been none. Because you're saying that they're falsified accounts, right? If you falsify an account, that means that your tax returns, what you pay as income tax, is wrong. Correct? Which is tax fraud.
Yeah.
Which means you're going to jail in some countries, right? Where is the subpoena from the tax authorities to those people to say, you committed tax fraud? There's been nothing.
For 10 years, I
want to keep this important. That important fact is that we won when it came down to CAS. We also didn't cooperate essentially with UEFA at the time because things were leaking out. Same pattern played out with regards to the Prem. Every time we were cooperating, things would leak out. There would be bad press about Manchester City. So as opposed to that, protection from that was the legal team, the accounting team said, here's what you're giving, no more. And then it came to the point where you're not cooperating with us. We're charging you 35 plus or whatever is with not cooperating. So we'll see what plays out. I want us to keep this in mind that the point of not cooperating is because it wasn't in good faith. They weren't keeping the information in-house. But we'll deal. Now, I've only got you guys for a few minutes, and I always want to keep this show with regards to an hour if I can, because obviously, let me be honest with you, I got my kids to have to scoop up as well, and I want to be conscious of your times. Now, Rodri happens to be out. The season's not looking as originally planned with everybody being healthy and available. Oscar Bob being the early one to kind of go and need some recovery, so things had to change. We all have confidence in Pep. Got no problem with that. I want to phrase this correctly. Is this league title available for the historic, arguably the best trophy cabinet in England with Liverpool? Is this title available for the once invincible Arsenal? Is this title available for the tremendous, aggressive, new age spending of Chelsea? those are the three teams that I want to bring forward. I don't think we should waste any time on United. We know how bummy they are. We know how they want to get their manager out. I don't think we should waste any time with regards to Spurs, as much as we're going to be facing the Carabao. So I don't want to do any jinxing, hitting my desk made of wood. But Chelsea, Arsenal, Liverpool. Do any of you? And I'm not going to pick anyone out. Feel free to chime in.
I think if we win, I don't know how many trophies, but we surpassed Chelsea. But I think how many now? I think we have 30 or something like that, or 29.
I don't want to know. We don't have to do the. No, we don't have to do the.
We're not far away from. We're not far away from.
Adam. No, we don't have to say. We don't have to point out who's got the better shoes. We don't have to do any of that. Who's got the larger feet? We don't have to do any type of measuring right now. But I just want to point out
the one person that I have to call out, even though he's my brother and everything, is that fraud Patrick. Because why?
Why are you going for Patrick?
No. Because you know why?
What's going on? This is a CIA meeting right now. What are you?
At the end of last season, I said, before the beginning of this season, I said, we're going for the 5p and we're going to win it. And this fraud told me, he told me, shut up and stop. It's too soon. So I'm going to, if we lift that 5th, Patrick is not allowed to celebrate.
No, that's not true. Listen. Let me defend Patrick because he's not here. My fellow agent, he happens to be on assignment elsewhere, couldn't join the show. But no, for him to just say, listen, it's a little too early, he's right in that. He's just saying right. I mean, obviously, we're all going after this 5, but it was a little too early to say. I just want to point out, and let me go. Professor, I see you. I don't want to keep you too long, and everybody else. Other than, he went off camera. I'm going to ask, so Professor, Liverpool, Arsenal, Chelsea, you're on mute. Who is the biggest threat of those 3 clubs for this title chase that we're going after? You're still on mute.
I would say.
You're still on mute. Actually, that's weird.
Yeah, you're still on mute.
Yeah, you're still on mute. Let me.
Still can't hear you.
Let me go to G while you figure it out. Who's amongst those 3 clubs? Arsenal, Liverpool, and Chelsea. I'm gonna go man to man. And we got about 4 minutes. So who's the biggest threat of those 3 clubs?
For me, it has to be right now. Are we talking about just historically or just
right? No, right now, this season. Who's threatening us from winning a 5?
Unfortunately, it is Arsenal. As much as I would like to say, as much as I don't want to give, because they're fans. We know they'll be so excited from saying that. They like that. Arsenal fans like to be complimented. They don't like you to say anything bad about their club. They want to that it's class, that everything's rosy, that it's about a club of tradition and honor. Even though we know that we know that Arsenal, the only reason why the majority of people supported Arsenal is because we all hated United. Let's be honest. United would dominate. That's the reason why most people, say Arsenal acting like they're the most hated team in this country. Yeah, man, get off that. But yeah, man, Arsenal.
All right, Professor, hopefully the audio is working well for you. I want to ask you the same question. Liverpool, Arsenal, Chelsea, biggest threat to this 5-peat?
Yeah, I think I was speaking to my friend about this yesterday, and he said he's not scared of Arsenal because he fears Liverpool more because they've got the experience, they've done it before. Van Dijk, they know how to win league title. Mo Salah knows, and they've done it before. To me, I think Arsenal, the reason is because they've been there last year, the year before. So I think Arsenal are, but people are telling me that Liverpool, because of the experience that they've got with the likes of Van Dijk, who are leaders, Mo Salah. But I just don't know. I think Arsenal have got the number of players in key position, like they got 3 6s, which I was saying, and they had Jorginho, Partey, and Rice. They've got enough number. The only thing that might let them down is the attack. These guys have got. If you look at their defense, let's say for example, I'll just count their defense. People don't look at this. Kieran Tierney still in their books. They've got Ben White still there. Tomiyasu still there. That's number 3. They've got who else have they got? Kivio is there. They got that new guy, the Calafiore is there. They got Saliba's there. They got Magalesh is there. They've got who else have they got? They've got another.
Tomiyasu still there. Tomiyasu
Tomiyasu's still there. They've got another one. They've got 9 or 10 defenders.
Yeah.
10. I counted.
This is
10.
Zinchenko, Hamza.
Zinchenko's there. That's 9. That's 9. I've counted. 9 players at the back line. They've got. And then the midfield, they've got 3 6s. So this manager has been back to the core. Like, he has been supported to the core. No one has a bigger squad than them. Like, literally. And there should be no excuse of Arsenal not to win the league. But if they do fail, which we know they can, it's calamity. Because how can City go there without a number 6 and then we go there and win a title 5 in a row? I think that'll be an incredible achievement. I think I'm looking at Arsenal as a major threat. They got Merino, Odegaard, they got all these Havertz, Sterling, Saka, Martinelli, Trossard, Kai Havertz. Look at the players I'm mentioning. I counted 10 defenders. I'm already counting like attackers, like 9. That's
there's
9.
tremendous. There's been tremendous spend with Arsenal. Tremendous spend over the last few seasons. The way it's almost like Arteta's devised a team with regards to his 6s and his defenders to be like, you know what, I'm actually building a team to be able to go against Manchester City. Like, that's what he's kind of built up. Now, I want to go to Ryan and Kim with regards to, and again, apologies on time, but who do you think between Liverpool, Arsenal, and Chelsea are the threats to prevent us from the 5? I'm going to start with you, Kim, and I'm going to end with you, Ryan.
I think, yeah, Arsenal is sort of the big threat, but they got to be more clinical up front if they are going to have a bigger chance of winning. But I think there's one team you've forgotten that I think is more of a threat than Chelsea, and that's Aston Villa.
What?
Don't count out Aston Villa out yet.
What?
They could very easily get up there and be fighting. So I'm putting them more of a dark horse than Chelsea. Chelsea are going to be up and down yo-yo like they always are.
All right.
At this stage.
I'm not mad at that.
Ryan, but Liverpool, but you know Liverpool too.
Yeah, the Liverpool's in the mix. Ryan, you're going to have the final word. I'm always appreciative of everybody on the channel. If you have not hit the like button, please do so. And on this channel, the description, go to every one of these guys on the panel. Please subscribe. In the comments, say I'm here from Vader Games TV. Let them know. Show the support. Ryan, you got the final say. Liverpool, Chelsea, Arsenal. Who has the strongest chance of preventing us from...
What I think, truthfully, is the biggest threat to the 5P is Citeh. Because I don't think none of them teams can get to the level City can.
That's it.
Wow. Man said, nah, Liverpool, no. Arsenal, no.
I think City is the biggest threat that they can only beat themselves. I think if they get to it, none of them, although Arsenal they've been okay. None of them have reached the level City can reach. So if City is still, I think City is the biggest threat to the 5P. If City get to the level we all know they can play at, then none of those are coming close. None of them teams.
I'm not mad at that at all.
It'll be a big reaction there and Ryan, and panel, because for me, that Newcastle game, will be a good test. Right now, no Rodri. Go to St. James's Park. That'll
must win.
The thing is as well, Newcastle's
must win, right, guys?
Similar way.
Oh, that's a must win. Definitely a must win. Especially down there, and without Rodri, it would be a big statement.
I think that Newcastle game is potentially going to be a double pivot, or probably. It's probably going to be.
Whoa, Adam! No! You're taking away some of the that we're gonna do on. You know, you've been attacking Patrick all show. That we do previews on Patrick's show, True City Fans. So we're not gonna take away any potential breakdown. But I'm gonna say this: listen, guys, thank you each and every one of you. If you haven't hit that like button yet, if you haven't subscribed, please do so. Also, show love to each and every one of these panel members right now. G Certified, Ryan, Professor Hamza, Adam, and Kimba. Now. True, Gundolorian Pitch Points was on the show earlier. I want to apologize. I've got to run as quickly without maybe a proper outro. I do have my minions to go scoop up from school. I want you guys to continue to support this channel, this show, and we're going to continue to bring you some additional information. The profile with regards to previews, post matches, and even what we continue to do talking daily with these rivals. Follow these guys because we all do our thing. We all fight back in our unique way, but when we come together, we're Citeh. So please, thank you all so very much. Enjoy this outro. I'm Vader Games. Professor, Kimba, Ryan.
Later, just before you
Adam.
go off.
Yeah,
Later,
go
guys.
Ahead. Go ahead.
I was gonna ask you, how many people here think that we're gonna sign a player in January?
I think that's a possibility.
I don't think we sign anybody.
I think
I think that's a possibility.
we
But
probably will.
This is gonna continue the show. I gotta go. I actually have to shut down.
Oh, no, okay.
We're gonna talk
Good
about
to speak to
transfers.
you boys. Yeah, we'll link up again shortly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Bless up, guys. Bless up. Bless up.
See you guys. Bye.